Hey guys, Banana Luck here. Welcome back to another Water or Rams video. We're back with the test server today and we have a few new units to take a look at. And yeah, couple of new Chinese team units. Very similar video artwork to a Nerja and Erlangshen. I have not been taking a very close look at them, so yeah, let's just jump into their skill kits. The first one that we'll be taking a look at is Su Yue, the Jade Frost Maiden, a tactician, so very interesting. I'm always very interested about tacticians because they're cool, you know. You can place them in different positions and whatnot, and this is one of those units where, you know, you can place her on both ground and platform if I'm not wrong. But let's take a look at her intro video. You can see that's the ink blot themed video that we have for Erlangshen and Nerja. That's why I say that both of them look very similar. FYI, I have no idea how these two are related. Like Nerja and Erlangshen, I've heard of them before, but these two units, I've never heard of them before despite being Chinese, but yeah. I think they're somewhat lovers. I don't know. We'll probably get a storyline quest or something when she comes, but very cool artwork and her design as well. A shattered blade that you can see there. So that's Su Yue, the Jade Frost Maiden. And take a look at stats quickly. That's a normal fighter range. 5.4k is slightly higher than average. 36-second redeployment. That's interesting. And then yeah, the rest of the stuff is pretty basic. And then we take a look at her skills. Now, there we go. Deployable on either ground or platform tiles. Cannot block enemies, so similar to Valara. Can be deployed up to 3 times per battle. Okay, that's why there's the 36 seconds deployment thing. And automatically retreats from the field are 20 seconds after deployment. Whether she is retreated manually or automatically, no cost will be restored. And the hero deals 35% increased AoE damage. Redeployment time is reduced by 24 seconds, and when dealing direct damage, there's a 30% chance to inflict Winter's Bite. Very interesting unit. And then let's take a look at basic. 120% AoE damage up to 8 enemies. It's physical damage, right? Doesn't say so. We'll have to find out, but I think it's physical, right? Yeah, physical damage. And then Return Spirit gains debuff immunity, reduces redeployment by 3 seconds for each enemy killed by the hero up to a reduction of 24 seconds, resets upon the next deployment. So that means that you could bring her back in like 12 seconds instead of 36. Debuff immunity, that's interesting. Not sure when that will come in handy. And second passive, every 2 basic attacks, Nyx. Basic attack deals 420% AoE damage that ignores 50% defense up to 8 targets in range. When targets inflicted with radiant erosion, deals an extra 200% true damage. So that's syncing up very nicely with Auron, obviously. If target HP drops below 40% HP, they are inflicted with Winter's Bite or Freeze. Instantly clears the target and excluding boss and elites. Oh wow, that's a 40% execution. Probably one of the highest that we've seen in the game so far. And she's gonna inflict Winter's Bite because she has 30% chance to do it on her own, so that's cool. And then Arena increase damage of 15%, and then her Bond skill obtains the hero the Wayward Noble to unlock the bonus effect, extends the hero's maximum deployment duration by 5 seconds. I assume that's going to come in very handy if we're talking about areas like Arena, if we want to use her there. And then now onto the ultimate, that's auto, can be triggered immediately when deployed, pulls up to 8 ground enemies in the basic attack range in front of the hero, and then deals 600% AoE damage that ignores 50% defense 3 times up to 8 enemies in range. Inflicts the immobilized state for 10 seconds. And vulnerability, physical damage for 10 seconds for 30% can only be triggered one time per deployment. Wow, 10 seconds immobilized state. I mean, targets can still hit, but that's very interesting. It could potentially be something that's useful in arena if you can suck the enemies off forward. And I think in AoE Arena specifically, there's 8 enemies per wave. You can suck all of them forward and Auron can deal the killing blow. Very interesting. I don't know what to feel about it, but the 3 deployment limit is kind of limiting, because, no pun intended, because 3 times only per deployment, and she's an ancient exclusive, so yeah, I'll be interested to see what she can do well in. No exclusive artifact that's gonna sting, so you probably want to use like the Resonance Bell on her, and then Awakenings. Let's see. A1 leaves a Moonfrost on the current tile upon dying or retreating, lasting until the hero's next deployment. While it's on the field, inflicts 1 stack of Winter's Bite on up to 8 enemies within 2 tiles every 3 seconds, lasting for 3, and it cannot block enemies. If the hero is deployed into the Moonfrost, she increases her attack by 10% and grants a shield equal to 100% of attack to all allied heroes within her basic attack range for 10 seconds. So I think it's a 10% boost that is significant here, as well as the control. The shield, probably not that much. A2 is flat attack. Then A3, what do we have here? Increases the number of basic attack, the range of basic attack and ultimate, and increases their max number of targets by 4. So instead of 8 targets, she's gonna deal it to 12 targets instead, and you get the vortex range, which is huge in my opinion. And bear in mind, you can deploy her on ground and platform, so gonna be a lot of options for her there, which is great. Yeah. A4, so instead of getting penetration, Bones Biting Co damage increases by 20%, and it's further increased by 10% when the hero has a shield. That doesn't look like a very big increase. I don't know. Unless the 20% stacks on top of this 420. So it's like 120% multiplied by this. I don't know. Okay. Anyways, A5, the weirdest awakening of all, increases the number of times the hero can deploy per battle by 1. So yeah, I don't know what to feel about that, because 4 deployments is not much. So yeah, it's an odd hero. We'll definitely have to test her out to see where she stands, but once again, one of the rare tacticians that can be deployed on both ground and platform, but a shame that she can only be deployed for a limited time. So it'll be interesting to see what she can do, but that is Su Yue for now. We will now proceed to take a look at the places that will use her and also a further look into her kit. Let's get into it without further ado. Alright, so the first area we're gonna test out Su Yue in is gonna be in Matrix. Now, this is a weird place for her to be because Matrix does have the increased respawn timer mechanic, where every time you despawn someone, the next time you spawn them back, the redeployment time is gonna increase significantly. And Su Yue does force you to sort of redeploy her, and she also has the deployment limit. Now, right now on test server, it's not been updated yet. She actually got buffed where, you know, her redeployment limit increases from 4 to 5 at A5. So right now, even though her cost is increased, and where was it? The redeployment limit is 4 times here, and then at A5 it increases. But for some reason, when we go into Matrix, it still does not show up that way. It still shows as 4 deployment. So I don't know what's going on, but let's bear that in mind when you're watching this test. Now, other than that, the rest of the heroes are pretty standard these days. So let's see what the team can achieve. I can see 4 deployment limit instead of us being supposedly being able to see 5 instead. So I don't know what's going on, but let's see. Lei Khan here, Guan Yu facing up, Durza, Snowmi, Elder, Adrian, and then we'll do Akira here. Alright, I'll just let things speed up for a bit. The early parts are quite straightforward. We don't really have to micromanage anything. And the first ultimate is going to come after the second Decay Overflow with Pop Lakans, because it's a very lengthy ultimate of 30 seconds. I'm going to do Adrian over here before the Focus Strike and also put down Surya. Now, Surya is in a spot where her cast animation is a bit long, so you have to put her down before, once the Focus Strike bar comes out actually. And then now we're going to cast the rest of the ultimates. And she is placed there because at A3, her range actually allows her to cover both sides. So that's one of the unique things about her. And then now we'll just pop Kira's ultimate, do the zap, and then yeah, put down the clone as well, see what we can do in terms of damage. Down to about 25 stacks, I see. And she despawns, and then you can see the respawn timer has really increased for a bit here. So you sort of have to start deploying her from the start to ensure that she still comes back in time for the very last wave. And now we just wait. Now she's gonna come back here, but not nearly in time, because you want her to be down from the moment Focus Strike starts casting. So as a result, we're just gonna use the other units here instead. See what we can do. Kira's ultimate. I'm just waiting for her clone to show up. There you go. Do that. And next time around, we're going to be able to put down Surya again, because the timing will be just nice. Let's see what we can do there. Okay, overflow. Slow down the timing again. Put that down. And then now we'll just wait. Now Kira's clones to the lightning. The stacks are looking pretty healthy still, so let's see. I can see 65 seconds. Next one is gonna be 90-ish seconds, which is crazy, but yeah, that's how Matrix works, which I feel that, you know, because of that, this might not be the best place to test out Surya in, but it's probably one of the places that the devs wanted us to test as well, so yeah, here we are. Put down the rest of the ultimates, and then now we wait for that to show up before we do the lightning. Hoping. Yep, Kira clone to be back in time. Okay, Surya is back again. Whoops, I forgot to cast Leikan's ultimate. So yeah, that's gonna be a bit late. It's gonna be late from now on as well, unfortunately. So forgot to cast Surya's. So let's see what this does to the score. It's probably gonna increase it a bit because yeah, the ultimates are not being timed optimally. Let's see, Surya is lasting way beyond what she should. Cast the ultimate there. Now we just wait. Your ultimate, that, and then drop the lightning again. think Surya is going to be around for the very last wave instead. See how that all works out. That's the ultimate. Let's see if Akira's clone comes out in time. Doesn't look like it will. Yeah, probably not going to place it there because it's just not going to be optimal. Just wait for the last set of ultimates. I'm not gonna do the Leikan ultimate early this time. I'm gonna wait for the last 30 seconds. Once we have that, we can put down Surya for the last time. Do the rest of the ultimates. The Akira clone. And do all that. Yeah, score is not that impressive if I can be honest. So I'm really not a fan of Surya being in this mix, as you're just not going to be able to get him back every time on time. And if you do this, if you do a comparison back to what we had when we did the Oren video, you will have noticed that the score is actually 10,000 higher than what we see over here. And if let's say we take a look at the damage, yeah, Oren, Guan Yu, Leikan, Kira, I mean, she's doing some decent damage here, but I feel like she's just bringing up the overall stacks higher than what it usually is as well, which is making the team a bit weaker, and you're replacing Astrid with her potentially. So I think Astrid is just probably going to be a much better option here. I mean, we could swap things around and maybe use Akira, Astrid instead of Akira, but I'm just not too sure about that. So yeah, that's the test for Surya in Matrix. Not a big fan of her here, but let's see where else we can actually potentially use her. Alright, next area we're going to test out Surya, and it's going to be in the Maverick Molten Trials, because this is one of the areas where, I don't know, some burst damage would be nice, especially for such Abyss Beholder debuffs, where they get magic damage reduction and they get the Abyssal Beholders at 200% HP. Now, normally you can use Oren pair with a couple of units to take care of it, but I want to show that Surya can do the same role as well. So let's see how they come in together. We're gonna do Oren on the side, Valara over here, Buffer in Narisa, and then we'll do Diao Chan on the side here. Do the Valara ultimate. There you go. This unit spawning out. Just gonna wait for Oren to get 100% of the Arbiter's lot bonus stack. Pop their ultimate, and yeah. Should do very decent damage there. Those guys left in there, but that's fine. Orange should be able to deal with them on his own. The Aura Inquisitors are also a bit tankier because they have 100% HP boost. Let's see what we can do here. It's almost dead. Don't think the spell will actually hit these mobs. The Lord spell will actually focus on the middle guy instead. It's unfortunate. We're just gonna use Surya to do some pulling here. There you go. It's gonna do up some decent damage, and I think this is where, in such moments, having that burst DPS helps out a fair bit. It's not gonna last through the next phase of ultimates, but that's fine. Wait for the Valara ultimate to end. Pop that. Nurture ultimate off. Once again, I don't think the Lord skill is gonna focus on these guys, unfortunately. Okay, managed to clutch that in. Just saving the last two deployments for the last two waves if possible. This ultimate. Pull these guys in. Let's see, the Lord skill is focusing on the area instead, which is unfortunate. I think we should be able to kill off these units in time. Pop the Valara ultimate, finish off this wave here. And then I can pop the Nurture ultimates to start going to town with this Scholar at the end here. Pretty tanky, guys. And yeah, it's down. Now on to the last wave here. Just waiting for the last Inquisitor to die. Pop the ultimate. Where's Oren in a bit when these guys move off. See, the Lord skill is not going to hit in the right areas, and that is when you need Surya to help take care of these guys, freeze him down there, immobilize, and then they're going to go down. And last wave here, we should be able to take care of it just fine, but yeah. There you go, that's the max deployment, 3 gone, and that's the reason why I don't recommend her for Molten Trials, because I feel like over there the waves are much longer. So you'll probably not stand to benefit as much when you use her, because yeah, Molten Trials just have much more ways for you to deal with. But they are going to be handy in areas like the Baron ones, where you get that extra respawn, the huge wave down bottom. I think that's where Surya can be used as well. But this is just demonstrating one of the areas that should do well in. And yeah. Now let's move on to other pieces of content. Alright, so second place we're going to utilize Surya in is going to be GR2 24. This is one of the stages that's made very much for her. She can solo DPS the whole thing, and you don't have to worry about her placement because she spawns shortly after she's placed down. Now, there is one problem, which is that in this current team that I have, right, or rather on test server right now, even though it says that her deployment is now 4 times per battle, when you go in, it's still 3 times. So that does make it look like she can't solo the whole thing. But yeah, you will see that just one more deployment of Surya will actually help us to clear this. So let's head in. I'll show you guys what I mean. Alright, so we're gonna do Draylin down, followed by Cat Grim. No, sorry. We'll do Sadie first. Aelin. Followed by Cat Grim. And this is a very, very defensive setup because we only need Surya as the solo DPS. So you can actually go ahead to, you know, put down as many healers and tanks as you want to help out here. Now just wait for the Golem Shriek. Just gonna pop Sadie's ultimate here to help out. And we'll put down Earlis. And once these guys come a bit closer, we're gonna put Surya down to just help to take out the big wave here. There's just one more of these units here. Yeah. Second wave that comes in. You can place Surya down only during then. That should still, you know, be sufficient. You see her animation is pretty long, but once she's placed down, she absolutely shreds through these guys, even though you don't even have her on inspiration. You can see the inspiration is on Cat Grim. It's a bit slow there. Should have done the shrieks and all that earlier, but yeah, it is what it is. Just wait for the rest of the units to come in. And we'll put down Surya again. And once she does her hits, she's gonna wipe out these guys pretty much instantly. You can even proc the Lord skill here to help out a bit. And this is where I sit, right? Because we don't have that 4th deployment, it's kind of wasted. Because otherwise, she could have definitely survived through this whole thing. Okay, no, she still has one more placement. I mean, after this one, that's where you see the big difference. Okay, almost done here. So put down Surya there. Pop Sadie's ultimate, because Aelin is being heavily targeted here. And then I can do Draylin's ultimate here. I can see here, because we are lacking that one last deployment, we don't actually get to kill off the boss, but I'm very sure if we have that last deployment, we can probably finish off the whole thing. So as a result, we're gonna have to put down this remaining units here with Oren to just take out the boss. Pop his ultimate. And do the Lord skill. He should go down pretty quickly here. And because of how defensive this team is, surviving is not really a problem here. There you go. And then in terms of damage wise, yeah, Surya is obviously going to be on top. And then just imagine if we can actually place her down the 4th time, then you can definitely still complete the run. Now, I didn't want to A5 her because then people will say, oh, it's probably her other awakenings that help to do the damage, but you can see very sufficiently at A0, she is able to, you know, solo DPS the whole thing. But we are just lacking that one more deployment to get her, to finish off the boss last. But other than that, she actually looks pretty okay here. So, alright, so final place we're gonna test out Surya in is gonna be in GR3. Now, she can go on both the left and right side, in my opinion, but right side is probably where you'll see more trouble. So you can see on the middle lane here, we have A0 Gushi and A0 Ren Hollow, so they're definitely going to suffer. A5 Yuri, but the rest of the units are A5 Kai to take out the left. So right is definitely going to be the side that struggles a bit more here, but let's get in and we'll see what she can do here. Alright, so we'll do Darlin first, and Yuri down second again. Yuri is way slower than Wushi instead of Yuri. The ultimate just doesn't do as much, and it's not a 40-second ultimate. So yeah, I think that makes a world of difference. So waiting for the cost gen now. There you go. I'll put Ren Hollow down, and you can pop his ultimate once it's ready. You can see 1 million per hit. Just insane. And that's A0, by the way. It's amazing what this hero can do. Right, now we just wait for the cost to be ready. We can put Kai down. Go. And from here on, we can actually play around with Surya to help play out the HOTS. But my guess is that Ren Hollow should do fine for the waves where, it's just one unit on its own. I think this ones he should be pretty comfortable with. It's the big waves that come later on that I think he will struggle a bit with. The ultimate here again. Okay, so go down. I'm not sure if I can catch the right timing here. Put him down, put her down first. See what we can do. There you go. You can see the immobilize coming very handy here. And that should actually be enough to kill off the clones there. There you go. Then despawn her, and then now we can just let Ren Hollow deal with the next clone that comes out there. We can even put in Ilva probably if we're still struggling with this last one. And you can see Surya is back again. It's perfect. There you go, that's all down. So you can actually despawn all these units, and we can even... Oops, there's actually one last unit left. I have screwed up there, let's see. Just now we're not sure if we're going to be able to take this down. Okay, that is a detonate one, I forgot, so it should be fine. So now we're left to the last few units, and we can put down Surya again. We even have Eova here to support. The beauty is that once these guys come into range, she's just going to immobilize them. There you go, and that clears up the wave. So yeah, that's GR3 324 with an A0 Rowan Hollow doing big work there, taking out the single mobs on his own, and then with the big mobs, he can only take them down to about 1/3 HP, and that's where Surya comes in to just clean up the mess. So this is another one of those potential areas where she'll do well in. Not gonna see her do much damage here, but the point is that at A0, she actually manages to clear those out. And bear in mind, if you have her A0 when she comes onto the actual server, she'll have 4 deployment limits instead of 3, which means that if you struggle on the left side as well, you could potentially use her there too. And I don't know, maybe in the middle as well if you're lacking damage, because you just have so many, so much more deployment limits instead of just 3 counts, which we only use 2 in this run. So yeah, that's it for the testing, I believe. Now let's move on to wrap up the video. Alright, there we go. That's Surya for you, the new tactician that is coming out, I think, hopefully next weekend. And yeah, she is in a very odd spot, if I can be honest. Not someone that you really need in many places, but if you have her, she's going to help plenty. You saw in the GR2 feature where she was the solo DPS, and then in GR3 you saw how easily she actually cleaned up the units on the side. So yeah, there's definitely going to be more uses for her as things go by, but in Matrix, I'm not too convinced by her yet. I think that the limited deployment with the increased despawn timer just doesn't work well with her. But you saw in GR2 where she could kill mobs effectively, her respawn timer is cut down to 6 seconds, which makes me think that in the Immortal Codex Conquest Challenge, she'll probably be pretty strong there. And to bear in mind that she can be placed on both ground and platform, so probably going to have some use cases in like AMR or even Gear Dungeon 3 as well, where, you know, deployment limits are an issue. She can come in pretty handy because you can just drop her down for that 20 seconds that she's around, and after that pick her off. Now, there's one place that I didn't test her out extensively in, and that's Arena. I feel like this unit having the suction to the gathering the units to a front of her, for the limited testing I did, it seems like most of the time it killed her instead of killing the mobs. So I didn't really like that. You can see when deployed, she pulls up to 8 ground enemies into her range in front of her. And when you do this in Arena, what tends to happen is that units crowd in front of her and then she dies there. So I'm not sure if that's optimal, and the cast animation is pretty slow as well. I still feel that the current meta teams that we have involving Oren, Velara, Dracula, Erlis, and Diao-Chan are good enough. I don't think we need to add her in, but who knows? Maybe other content creators will find places where, you know, she can do well in. Now, I heard she is supposed to have an exclusive artifact actually, but I haven't seen it yet, so I'm not sure what's going on there, but yeah. If you have any more questions, leave it down in the comment section below. Now, the one other thing to note here is that in all my testing, the deployment limit, even though the patch says 4 times, like they have buffed it, but in the actual gameplay you only saw 3, so I'm very sure that will be fixed when it comes to global. But yeah, that's gonna be it for the video. Thanks for tuning in. If you have any questions, leave it down below, and if you enjoyed the video, leave a like or subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.